So let's start with Minimax. These are for the 11 to 16 age groups. Their engines may be restricted, but boy, can they go.
Jonathan Price leads Aaron Smith, Craig Sterling, Ricky Gordon and Curtis Reed at the start of Heat 3 of the Minimax races. On board with Luke Price, and she's getting pretty close to Matthew Hutchison, but Wayne Boyd is in big bother on the right. Boyd recovers to finish 5th. And this is her onboard camera carrier, Ruth Price, but up front it's Craig Sterling, who takes the lead from Aaron Smith. Ruth's brother, Jonathan Price, who loses his nose cone in this little melee. Samantha Thom is receiving some pretty ungentlemanly attention from Gordon and Coulter, but with girl power coming to the fore in this tussle. On board with Ruth is also in the wars with Scott Curran, immediately ahead. Samantha cannot shake off Nathan and Ricky, and down into the gooseneck it all gets a bit too hectic. Meanwhile up front, Craig Sterling is under pressure from Aaron Smith, but it's visitor Richard Bradley who wins and gets himself a good position for the final.
And now for the Minimax final with Craig Sterling on the front row alongside him Ricky Gordon, just in behind English visitor Richard Bradley, and a lot of very fast company. The Price family are in there as well.
And they come streaming down, absolutely packed field into the first corner. We're expecting trouble and we get it! Number 22 there, off onto the gravel.
Yes, some off the circuit already, one completely off, one with wheels off, but the rest of the pack coming through the chicane for the first lap and climbing the hill for the first time, with English visitor Richard Bradley leading from Ricky Gordon.
And we've lost our onboard carrier already as they come streaming out. Following him is Aaron Smith, then Wayne Boyd and Samantha Thom, that very experienced young female driver in the very distinctive black cart.
Yes, indeed, they're back to the chicane for the second time, as fast and furious as ever in the Minimax class. Samantha very much in the battle. Remember her a couple of years ago in cadet programs, and she's up in the Minimax class now, and Richard Bradley still leads this one. He's getting away from the local drivers. Aaron Smith moves up into second ahead of Ricky Gordon. Wayne Boyd is there as well, and that's Kart NC, winner of the Five Nations.
Just as Londoner Bradley moves ahead, he's no stranger to Nuts Corner. Incidentally, we concentrate on the battle for a second. You can just see him going out of sight as they come up into the hairpin.
Josh Galt follows that bunch in Kart 61. Samantha Thom is just behind him. Bradley is creeping quietly away at the head of the field. They really need to concentrate on trying to catch him if they're going to challenge our English visitor once more. But Aaron Smith just from Ricky Gordon. He's another who came through the cadet classes years ago. And behind him just Wayne Boyd. They're at red and yellow outfit of Wayne Boyd. And then Josh Galt, then Samantha Thom.
Samantha Thom, a really plucky little driver, always mixing it right in with the boys, and they're certainly mixing it at the moment.
That was Boyd moving up another position, trying to get another one as he challenges Aaron Smith when they approach the chicane. Not really a good overtaking place, that one, Wayne, but up the hill once more. He looks on the inside.
And he looks the most aggressive driver out here at the moment. He did that, executed that beautifully, but he's realised that the man is getting away from him out front, and he's going to try and work with the drivers behind to catch up and not crawl all over each other. It's a good idea, but it doesn't always work.
Yes, indeed, and I don't think it will work in this one, but it's all a little bit of the red haze out there at the moment, but he was trying to encourage the driver behind to stick with him and get off in pursuit of Richard Bradley. Wayne Boyd just, but here comes the challenge once more from Aaron Smith, and that is letting Bradley away. He gets a little nudge there as a reminder from Boyd that that wasn't really our plan.
And they come up over the chicane using all the curbs on the outside, up the hill, up to the hairpin this time, and once again the NC plate, the national champion plate, trying, and these guys are really holding themselves up now, Jane. It's absolute a gift for Bradley.
Yes, they are indeed, and Josh Galt is coming through as well, but these two have, having abandoned their plan to chase after Bradley, have got involved and pushed themselves back a couple of positions. There's Ricky Gordon moving up again. Behind him, that's Samantha once more, the black outfit. And Wayne Boyd is back behind her, having almost been in second position a couple of laps ago.
So Wayne Boyd certainly providing the fireworks as he goes down inside Samantha Thom again. Somebody off on the gravel that time. Did you spot who it was?
I didn't pick that one up. It was one of the leading bunch, but they don't seem to have slackened. It's a cart just ahead of Samantha Thom. It was number 20, Aaron Smith, actually, who had a good position a couple of laps ago.
And you can see the gap that they've opened out. This is the next two really battling away. Number 11, that's Alan Farley and Stephen Bradley.
Yes, Alan Farley all the way from Longford, like so many of the southern drivers this weekend. And he's in the bunch pursuing this furious battle for the minor positions. Meanwhile, race leader Richard Bradley has disappeared down the road.
Looking at Samantha Fong under a terrific attack, and of course she comes from a great motorsport family. Her uncle is a very famous rally driver, and that is evidently the way she wants to go in her future motorsport.
Yes, unfortunately rumour has it that we may in a few years' time lose her to rallying from karting, but she's certainly getting a very, very good grounding in motor racing here in the kart classes that she's come through right from her cadet years.
61, Joss Gold mustn't have too much of his nose cone left. He was right on the bumper of the kart in front of him there.
Well, they use these nose cones sometimes as a bit of an offensive weapon. They shouldn't really, but it does happen, and thankfully they've made the karts a little bit safer as well, a bit of protection for ankles and toes, etc.
And Wayne Boyd is on the attack again just behind these two. And remember, this is the battle for second. The leader is out of sight.
Yes, Wayne hasn't given up the struggle yet. He's had a very torrid race, but he's battling his way back through once more.
So let's just recap. It's Aaron Smith, Ricky Gordon and Wayne Boyd. But it's Joss Galt, and the back of your picture now, number 23, Samantha Fong. She won't be there for long, I'm sure.
Wayne Boyd moving up once more. Wayne has certainly not given up this struggle. He's trying to get back into his second place. Richard Bradley may be down the road, but he would love to take second place here at the Grand Prix.
And this is a tremendous dice. They're in what they call the gooseneck now. It's a hard work place. It's got a little bit of camber to the right, for the left-hander there, and then onto the right, down the main straight, start, finish straight, and down into the first corner once again, onto the last lap.
Let's down into that paddock corner and stand on the brakes for just a moment to break the backside of the kart away and sweep through the short straight and back to this little chicane that leads to the approach up the hill on this Nuts Corner circuit, and the very fast right-hander at the top of the hill.
And it's all up for grabs for second place. Who will it be? Richard Bradley looks almost certain now to take victory. He's only about a quarter of a lap to go. But Samantha Thumb did a lovely manoeuvre there, but she's going to lose out again, I think, this time to Wayne Boyd. No, she's fighting it on.
Yes, that's that man, Wayne Boyd, who's really been a feature of this race. Race leader Richard Bradley.
Bradley over the line to take a convincing win in that one. Second place is Aaron Smith after all that excitement, with Ricky Gordon in third.
Yeah, it went really well. I didn't expect it to win it by that margin, but I thought the karts were behind me because I heard engines, and then I looked behind and I thought, wow, couldn't believe the lead I had.
Both Ruth and Jonathan Price race in the Minimax classes, while young Kyle here races cadets. So karting is very much a family affair for the Price clan, with everybody getting involved. What's it like having your twin sister rivaling you?
Not too bad.
So who's the best out of the two of you?
Me.
Why'd you say that?
Because I always beat him.
So it's Minimax rivals Ruth and Jonathan, but that's not the whole story, as Kyle, currently in cadets, is another Price coming through the ranks.
How did you get into karting?
My daddy started, then my brother and sister started, then I started.
This is Kyle in action in the cadets. Well, there's always plenty of action.
Now we move on to the Junior Max, where the age group rises from 13 to 16 and the engine restrictors are removed.
Richard McAlorum is carrying our onboard camera in Heat 3 of the Junior Max races, and it's Rutherford, Linus, Wilson, Lusty and Isaac Lyons, a member of the famed Lyons Karting dynasty, who lead off the line. Number 17, Linus, is under pressure from Wilson and Lusty in the battle for second place. Isaac Lyons eventually taking advantage of the situation and slipping in to split them. Rotherham leads from Linus, but Lyons is on a charge. McAlorum is drafting John Connor from Glasgow, and Raymond Lusty follows Lyons' example and takes Linus, number 17, in the hairpin for third place. So it's a classic Lyons win. And so to the Junior Max final. Rotherham hopes to go one better than in Heat 3 as they power off the line. And he leads into turn 1. But Sarah Barrett is having a big sideways moment.
Sarah, one of the other new young ladies that we've got in karting these days, and good to see her up in an A final. She must be going very well these days to make that. But that's young Stephen Rotherdale who leads.
And right behind him, our onboard camera, Richard McIlorum, shadowing him as they come down out of the hairpin for the first time.
And Raymond Lusty's back up there, I think in third position, very much in the picture. We're following Stephen Rotherdale on the onboard camera on kart number 41.
So Rotherdale it is, and there you can see almost our onboard man slightly holding up the chain at the moment. Richard McIlorum in second place, and a very aggressive looking Mr. Lusty right behind him, trying to dive down the inside. I think he's going to get him.
Yes, indeed, and look who's just in behind. William Cochrane and Isaac Lyons once more in kart 47, tucked in there neatly in fifth position. Looking very cool and assured and pressurising William Cochrane as they go through the chicane.
So up they come up the hill into the hairpin, and number 55, our onboard man Richard McIlorum, really in the middle of it all. We couldn't have a camera placed in a better position.
Yes, Richard, the Bangor driver, chasing Stephen Rotherdale behind him. It's still Lusty, Cochrane and Lyons, and so many times I've said that group of names in karting comedies over the last few years, and they're back at it today once more. Isaac Lyons just tucked in behind that group, could well be the big danger man in this one. He's having a look at one side of Cochrane, then t'other as he comes down to the paddock corner once more.
Number one, of course, is William Cochrane, who's just passed our onboard cameraman Richard McIlorum as we go up through the chicane, over the curbs that time, and up the hill towards the hairpin again.
Into the chicane, and they're riding those red and white curbs and going very, very quickly indeed. Lyons is looking for a gap on the inside of McIlorum. He has a look at the top of the hill. I don't think there's enough room to get through this time, but he's certainly starting to mount his challenge. And don't forget Stuart Linus tucked in behind there as well.
Number 17 is Stuart Linus, and number 47, Isaac Lyons, is the man you really have to look out for in this bunch.
Lyons now behind McIlorum as they come down the hill. He moves onto that inside line and slips beautifully through on the inside. Now he'll set out in pursuit of Cochrane, kart number 1 ahead of him. Through the chicane once more.
And isn't it fabulous to watch a Lyons really at work? It's really an amazing karting family. His father, of course, was an absolute ace. His brother Richard, who's watching here today at Nuts Corner, is on the verge of Formula 1, and here's another real talent.
Yes, indeed he is. I spent a lot of my karting career following Raymond, usually at maybe a lapse distant, but this youngest member of the family is a very quick young man indeed, and he's starting to plough his way through this final field at the moment. He's coming up, he's ahead of Cochrane now.
Just picking them off one by one like a true professional. Down they come into turn 1 again, that paddock turn. Number 1 just going through picture there, William Cochrane, and there's the man we're watching, Isaac Lyons, number 47.
Stephen Rotherdale is his new target. The blue side panels there are kart number 41. The slightly taller figure of Stephen as Isaac closes on him. Just ahead of them still, Raymond Lusty. Lyons now in third. He's certainly starting to mount this challenge of his. He's slipping his way quietly through the field. Cochrane is still back there as well. We can't forget him. But Lyons now pressurising Rotherdale. Lusty still leads.
Lusty, Rotherdale, and Lyons goes down the inside, and this is really hotting up as we get towards the closing laps. So Lyons up into second place. Old rival Lusty just ahead of him now, and he really has his work to do. Rotherdale looks a beaten man. Lyons is absolutely chipping them away one by one. He's come from right down the field. Can he take victory here this afternoon? He's certainly so close to the hairpin now.
He's certainly right on it, and he's on Raymond Lusty's case this time. It was a wonderful overtaking mover, and there's another one. Making it look very, very easy today is young Isaac. He slips past Raymond Lusty beautifully that time. Down the hill once more.
And look at the distance in 2 corners he's managed to put between him and Raymond Lusty. So down they come, another lap. Meanwhile, we go back in the field here for some of the other exciting dices.
That's McIlorum and Cochrane still at it, and Johnny Clyde's there as well on kart number 12.
And we're on board, of course, with McIlorum. We've got a clear road ahead, but for how long, I wonder. Clyde coming up to challenge. Is he going down into the first corner? He could slip through on the inside. There he goes. But McIlorum has the power on and comes back at him again as they go up into the chicane. Meanwhile, Lyons is streets ahead.
Yes, meanwhile, back at the front, Isaac Lyons has really stretched this lead of his, pulling right away. There's no sign of the second driver at the moment.
And he's coming up, the checkered flag is ready, and boy, was that a convincing win. So Lyons takes it, Lusty second, and Stephen Rotherdale third.
At the start, everybody was very, very close. I think it was William Cochran. I was behind at the start. Took a long time to get past him. After that there, the kart seemed to come on a bit better. I eventually gained a bit more potential in the kart and went from there.
There's no doubt that Mini Max and Junior Max are fast and furious, but now it really gets serious. You must be over 16 to take part in Senior Max, and you've got to be tough to take the physical knocks you can get in these dynamite little 125 races.
The Senior Max classes are so popular that there are A and B finals. McCart leads the B finalists from Bracken and Lynch, who is defending his third place at the hairpin. The top 6 go through to the final, and it's furious starts with Keith Forsyth, number 74, driving inside number 35, and then going on to take Lynch as he moves into third spot. Aidan Vance, 95, is also moving past Lynch, as is Aaron Roper, number 10, the Ballymoney driver. Roper then takes Vance for 4th. Further on, Vance is taken by Lynch again. But up front it's Bracken who's now really putting the pressure on McCart. Keith Forsyth is a comfortable 3rd, number 74, and Aaron Roper, number 10, 4th, with Vance and Lynch still disputing 5th place. So at the flag, it's McCart, Bracken and Forsyth in 3rd place.
This is the Senior Max final of the J.H. Price sponsored Irish Karting Grand Prix here at Nuts Corner, with the 2 Garys on the front row, Gary Turkington and Gary Blair, as they head down towards the flag on this full grid in this very competitive class, and they're underway straight away down into Paddock Corner. Turkington leads straight away, and already we've got mayhem. That's Jason Curran and Gary Blair. Gary looking very disgusted sitting there in the gravel, and there's more off at the chicane on the first lap, something typical of what we expected in this very competitive class. But meanwhile, Gary Turkington starting to stretch his lead at the top of the hill on the first lap.
Ramy Eastwood is in 2nd place, and even our camera on board Andrew Heron's kart has also had a whack. But all that action couldn't have played better into Gary Turkington's hands, and he is way out front as they complete the first lap.
Yes, yet another karting dynasty, the Turkington family, and Gary starting to stretch his lead. He'll be very, very pleased with this at the moment. If he has a glance over his shoulder, if he can find time to do that, the rest of the field following him through. It's very competitive back there, and Gary is slipping quietly away in the lead.
And there he is, through the hairpin, and this is a big fight on here for 2nd place. Alistair Jackson, I think, has just moved into 2nd there, ahead of Ramy Eastwood.
This is Jackson and Eastwood disputing 2nd place, 59 and 86.
Good close stop round the gooseneck that time, but Turkington's away, and these 2 are breaking away, but will they hold themselves up? And indeed, the people following could well close that gap. Meanwhile, no doubt about it, Alistair Jackson, Ramy Eastwood, drafting each other and moving away as Turkington goes out of sight.
Philip Harkness, number 1, was the driver in 4th position, trying to close on that group. Ramy Eastwood has done a lot of racing over in England this year and last season, and he's very, very competitive indeed, and he would love to get up there and trying to get after Gary Turkington, but Gary is just starting to stretch this lead gradually as the race goes on.
And we noticed number 47, Neville Bell, he was also closing on that leading group. Meanwhile, down amongst the dogs, as they say in motor racing, it's all happening. But look at this, it's really close now for 2nd.
Yes, Neville Bell's another very competitive man in this class, and he's very often up in this battle. And there he is once again with a spinner there. That's 11.
Alistair Jackson, I think it was 59 actually. Is it 59? It's Alistair Jackson who's gone round, and the whole world's going by at the moment.
This is one of the downfield battles, and down into Paddock once more, and Robert Robinson, who's actually a pro kart and a World Formula driver, having a bit of problems battling with his pro kart. 133 there, and almost losing another position. Behind him 151.
Stuart Henderson really pulling on the coals there, and as you can see, intense rivalry right throughout the field in this Senior Max final.
Yes, that's Stephen Connolly and another group there, and they battle right to the tail of the field in this class. Peter Bracken, another driver who raced a lot in England the last couple of years, but he's right in the thick of things. Back in Ulster racing here this weekend. He had to come through from the B final, believe it or not. Just ahead of them, Jason Curran, number 83.
And Jason Curran, one of the real stars of this class. We would have expected him to have a much better result, and Gary Turkington probably quite glad that he's well back there and being held up.
Well, Turkington has an enormous lead now. Neville Bell and kart number 1 for still disputing 2nd place. That's Philip Harkness on 1, who's worked his way through very well indeed. Neville Bell still in company with him, but Turkington is away down the road.
And Brian McCart, who won the B final, is in trouble at paddock bend. He's not going to get out of there, and there's somebody else also involved in that spin.
151 that was. That's Stuart Henderson again. That's our race leader, however. That's 11, Gary Turkington. And the long, long lead he has indeed. Gary has a quick glance back over his shoulder, but I doubt if he could see the opposition. He's so far ahead in this one.
And remember, this is the driver who thought of a professional career in motor racing. In fact, took part in the British Formula 4 Championship very successfully, it has to be said. But now he's just back home and enjoying karting as a hobby.
Well, hopefully he is, but he's added a lot more colour to the local karting scene. And Gary, yet another karting dynasty, as I said earlier, going extremely well.
Aaron Roper, who we saw figuring in the first in the B final in amongst that little lot.
Yes, David McCulloch with a battered front fairing on the kart. I wonder, was he the guilty party who damaged the onboard camera a little bit earlier in this race?
And 27 just going through. That's David McCulloch, leads that little bunch. Is Cecil Conn in there as well?
Yes, Cecil Conn, 31 I saw in that group, and Cecil's another driver we don't see quite as often these days. He races in the Pro Kart class, or has done as well, but he's out in his Rotax outfit this weekend.
But it's Gary Turkington who's put on the maximum attack to take the senior max race.
It's been a fantastic weekend all round. I don't think we could ask for anything more. We were quickest in qualifying, won both heats and won the final, so it was good all round.
So you want to be a racing driver. When do you start? At the age of 17 perhaps, when you get your first road licence. Way too late. How about when you enter your teens? Some drivers have 5 seasons behind them by then. Yes, if you're really serious about being a professional driver, you want to start at the age of 8. Yes, 8.
From 8 years of age, you can race a cadet, and then there are numerous age and performance progressions through the max classes to the World Formula and Gearbox Superkarts. Yes, it's minnows to mighty men.
Now let's meet another karting clan. We saw Craig Sterling in action in the Minimax. Now let's see how Carl and Adam get on in the Cadets.
The Cadets are the starter pack in racing.
What's so good about racing?
Oh, the mechanics are great fun. Leela giving me all the support, and Tony and Tommy doing all they can there. Oh, it's fun with this when you just get in the team and do your best out there. That's all you can do.
Brother Adam is in direct rival of Carl in the Cadets.
What's so good about it?
And when you pass them, you feel good that you've got catching other people, and when you win races, you're like so happy.
And we saw big brother Craig in action in the Minimax.
What's it like racing as a family? Because now all your brothers
It's
do
good.
Yeah?
It's teamwork and effort, and you got to be going like that. Feel good.
I've got a feeling you're not going to stay in karting, are you? You got big ambitions for the future? What do you want to do?
Formula 1. Formula 1 as well.
I would like to get into Formula 1, but I don't know. Next against the button.
Formula 1 is a long way ahead of Heat 3 in the Cadets, and it's Carl Dunn, Christopher Smiley, Adam Sterling who lead. We're on board with Kyle Price, one of 3 of the Price family who are racing this weekend, and he's chasing Stephen Little, number 12. Just how close can you go in Cadets? A few laps later, and our man is challenging Christopher Smiley for the lead, but it all goes wrong at Paddock Corner. And it's all gone wrong also for Callum McCritty, who retires in Formula 1 style drama. Now it's Adam Sterling, Dunn, Smiley, Doyle and Scott McGarrity. Now there's a racing name. And close to the back of this group, it's our camera cart, Kyle Price. He's recovering. There's a breakaway with the first 3, but the battle behind is furious, with Little number 12 leading Adam Sterling 23, who's been swallowed up by Dunn number 8, and our camera cart Carl Price number 43, with Derek Martin 94, hopping his way to the 4. There goes that Martin hop again. The Dungannon lad is now second, but time is running out. Don't look around. It's going to be a real fight to the line. Through gate they go and into compression, and out of the last corner it's anybody's, but Martin gets it from Sterling, with John Norris just catching Adam Sterling on the line.
And now for something new. These World Formula karts have replaced the Pro Karts in the production class in karting this year. Instead of the twin Honda engines, there's now a single engine, a Briggs & Stratton unit. And yes, they are the guys who make the lawnmower engines, but that's where the similarity ends.
Andrew Fagan and Derek Wilson are on the front row for the World Formula Final. And guess what? They're all in RPM karts.
This is a very exciting new class introduced to the province this year. Most of the drivers come from the Pro Kart class, and they're at it right from the start. And these Briggs and Stratton engines are very, very equally matched indeed. It's Andy Fagan who leads, Sean Doherty there, the black suit and the yellow helmet of Sean in second.
And then Stewart in third, and our camera kart this time is in number 77 in second place with the distinctive yellow helmet, the black kart with the yellow helmet.
16, Derek Wilson is in the picture as well, a very, very quick man from the Pro Kart class in the past, and equally as quick in this World Formula class.
And at the moment our onboard camera is lying in second place and pressurising the leader Andy Fagan.
Well, Andy's very used to the pressure from Sean. They race together, as I said, in the Pro Kart class now on these RPM chassis fitted with the Briggs and Stratton engines, and this new World Formula class going extremely well indeed.
Challenging there down the inside, these first four quite well together. We're now on board with Doherty, and you can see the view as they come up through the chicane. Quite a hill here, up over the curbs, and these karts have to be driven very neatly indeed, because if you get them too sideways you just scrub off speed.
The two blue outfits of the Portadown drivers, Stewart and Wilson. Wilson coming through into second this time at the top of the hill, down through the compression once more. He tucks himself down in the cart and sets off in pursuit of Sean Doherty. Andy Fagan still holds the lead as the other Fagan runner is back there about 5th or 6th, I think.
And in real battle you can see the concentration of these guys. They're tucked down, they're trying to get maximum slipstream as they come out of the horseshoe and down into Paddock Bend for another lap.
Well, they tell me that these World Formula outfits are much more pleasant to drive than the old Pro Karts. The single-cylinder engine providing just a little bit more power, a little smoother to drive, and through the corners it doesn't jump up out the way the old Pro Karts used to do. Certainly a very competitive class indeed.
And in that second group it's Michael Maguire, then Liam Curran in the C-plate kart, and Tommy Fagan, number 76, battling away.
Nigel Stewart still leading Sean Doherty, or now ahead of Sean Doherty, I think, as they come down the hill this time.
Yes, there we're on board with Sean Doherty, and you can see just how close. He won't be too pleased with that. He's dropped the place and he really has to concentrate now.
Well, Sean, one of the senior citizens, I hope he doesn't mind me saying that, of this World Formula class, but very, very competitive indeed, and tucked in behind Nigel Stewart. He doesn't want to give up that position. That's him right on Nigel Stewart's bumper as we follow him round this Nuts Corner circuit, hopping the curbs as ever, looking for the short way round and up the hill once more.
Up the hill and up to Gate Hairpin, and a real chance to get down inside and get ahead. Is he going to do it? No, Stewart chops off his nose that time quite legitimately.
Oh yes, indeed, he did have a gap on the inside, but it just wasn't quite large enough. They're through the Dundroyd Hairpin, out onto the straight once more, battling for 3rd and 4th position.
Down they come now into the horseshoe, this long left-hander which drops away a little bit, and then a very important right-hander just coming up now. You've got to get that absolutely right to get your maximum speed down the straight.
You can hear the rumble of that Briggs and Stratton engine, so different from the Cadets and other classes. Down into Paddock Corner once more. We're still following Nigel Stewart along the short straight and up at the top end of the circuit. That's Michael Maguire.
Maguire, McLaughlin, Cox and Tommy Fagan in that little group as they come down onto their last lap now. Meanwhile up front, Derek Wilson has really got to terms with the leader, Andrew Fagan. There's absolutely nothing in it as they come through the compression for the last time.
Into the hairpin for the last time, out on the straight now, just the dash to the line.
Getting very close indeed. Down they come, out into the horseshoe. Contact there, and they've almost tangled these two. They're slowing themselves right up. He nervously looks behind, quite rightly, because the other two have caught him. But it's going to be Andrew Fagan, I think, just from Derek Wilson, Nigel Stewart and Sean Doherty.
I was confident enough if I was leaning into the last lap that he wouldn't be able to beat me. Other than a suicide move which he tried.
Now we really go from the minnows to the mighty men. There are 3 divisions amongst the Gearbox races, 125, 210 and the amazing 250cc Superkarts.
But first it's the 125 and 210 final. The Gearbox classes use the full Nuts Corner circuit, and it's James Irvine, number 2, who leads Justin Doherty 0. But all eyes on the Everett McDowell, number 73, and Ian Gilpin, number 30, battle for 3rd. Doherty takes the lead at the top of the circuit, and the next lap, McDowell makes a very determined bid for second place. But a lap later, it's all over for the Belfast driver, and his hand goes skywards to signal his retirement. Now Gilpin is after that second place. Justin Doherty laps Dan Berry and Desmond Black, who are fighting for the 210cc honours on his way to glory. And soon the battle for second is also passing the dueling 210 pair. Victory eventually going to Black in the 210 class. And Justin Doherty in the Zero Kart has it all his own way, and it's all a bit spread out as the finish as Justin takes victory, and we look back a long way for the second and third place men, who are Jim Irvine and Ian Gilpin. The 250 Superkarts are super fast but often fragile, and it's Kieran Petens-Anderson that leads from the flying start, but things get a bit crowded in the river section. Here we see it in replay from the Cadams kart. Now number 44, Matt Campbell, is really under attack, but Peten holds him off this time. A lap later and the Carrickfergus driver tries again, and this time he makes it stick. But Peten's on the marbles, and he's lucky not to roll. So it's Campbell who is in amongst the back markers. Ian Hayburn in the white and blue Anderson, and Liam Fox in number 15. Brian King and the veteran Colin Minari right on his tail, with King moving up into third place. Fox now looks set for third, and all the experience is beginning to show as the Bangor multiple champion Minari, number 83, begins to pick them off. Masterful Minari now puts the pressure on Liam Fox, the carried-off driver. And at the Dundrod hairpin, he leaves us braking a little too late and falls into retirement. But Minari is also being dragged in with him and drops to fourth. Back at the front, Ian Hayburn is now right with Matt Campbell. And in a brave move at over a ton, he takes the lead, but Campbell isn't giving up that easily. There ain't room for two, and Hayburn is not in a generous mood today. So it's Ian Hayburn, who is the mightiest amongst the mighty men. Matt Campbell has to settle for second, and Brian King is eventually third.
So this is the Cadet class, and these 60cc buzz bombs are driven by little aces from 8 years and upwards, and their skills will amaze you. Some of the very best racing on the planet is provided by the youngest members of the racing fraternity.
So it's the Cadet final, one of the highlights of the weekend. And in the first corner there's problems. That's Adam Sterling, who's over in a nasty accident.
Well, thankfully, young Adam, the marshals will be quickly on the scene and the rescue services, and although that looked a little bit horrific, he landed quite soft in the gravel on the outside of the circuit and will soon be back fit and well, I am sure.
So naturally the race is red flagged, and very soon we're at the restart. And 94 in the red kart, that's Derek Martin. 22 is Carl Sterling, Adam's brother, who must be a little bit nervous after seeing that accident as they file through the chicane for the first time.
But it's a Dungannon driver who leads Derek Martin. We're right with Sterling there at the moment at number 22. On the inside, that's Kyle Price, number 43, who comes up into second. Behind them, Stephen Little.
And it's Kyle Price who's carrying our onboard camera as they come down into the top hairpin for the first time and then down into the horseshoe. So it's Martin who leads our camera car. That's Kyle Price in second place.
Then we Sterling, behind them Little, and I think Dunn is the next one along in fifth position.
And really the camera can't get any closer than that. Isn't that fantastic? We're just about heading down into Paddock Bend. Hopefully we get through in one piece.
Right in amongst the back sprocket we were that time, Club, and it's 94 who leads. Derek Martin, behind him Kyle Price, Carl Sterling, Stephen Little. The Cadets providing tremendous entertainment, and remember that Matthew Campbell, who you saw a few minutes ago in the 250 class, was a product of this class just a couple of seasons ago.
So down they go and in line, and we're still there just behind 94 Derek Martin, and again looking for a place through. But 22, very threatening. Carl Sterling really driving a blinder here. Moves back up into second place. Our camera cart, the man in the camera cart looking back nervously. And that's not, and he shouldn't really be that aware. He should be really just getting the head down and getting on with it.
Well, we understand that Kyle Price has a damaged chassis from the incident earlier in this race, but it doesn't seem to be affecting him too much. Derek Martin is swarming all over the back of Carl Sterling now once more in third. There's Little, and there's another one joining in the battle as well. Cadets, as ever, at it very hard indeed round this Nuts Corner circuit.
And buffing off the underside of the cart as they get right over the chicane curve there, up into the hairpin. 22, Sterling making a bid down the inside and getting away with it. And we've lost on our onboard cart about 4 or 5 places there.
Yes, John Norris is the other driver. That's him, 27, just in shot now, who's come right back up into the picture. He's been very quick round Nuts Corner this season, but Sterling leads once more. Behind him, Derek Martin still hanging in there.
Then number 12, that's the man who's come right up through the ranks, that's Stephen Little. Very threatening indeed in third place now. We're back behind 27 Norris and trying to make a bid round the outside as we go into paddock. Not maybe a good idea, but we've cut to the inside. We could get him going into the chicane here.
Martin now leads into the chicane and up the hill towards Gate once more. We're back with the onboard following John Norris through the chicane and up the outside of the Nuts Corner circuit towards Gate Corner. Norris has been very quick, as I said, round Nuts Corner this year, but he's trying to get back to the head of the field once more as they go down through the compression. That's Carl Dunn we're following now, cart number 8.
And unfortunately, Carl Price moving back a little bit, and the first 3 have really made a break. This is dangerous now. You can't afford to let them get away like this.
A group of 6 we have. They're slightly split between the 3rd to 6th positions, but we're following Stephen Little this time, number 12.
And these fabulous pictures coming from the microcam cameras as we once again get right into the middle of this cadet racing. You can't get any closer than that.
Yes, the onboard providing tremendous shots here today of this cadet class, and they're racing fast and furious as ever. That's our leading threesome. We can just see in the distance ahead. I think it's still Derek Martin who leads. We're following our southern visitor Carl Dunn through the chicane and up the hill once more.
And he's making a little signal there for to go through on the inside. I don't know what that was about, but he certainly allowed Kyle Price to go through. I wonder, does Dunn have a problem?
I'm not sure, Plum, but he certainly let Kyle Price through, and that's our leading threesome once more. In fact, it's more than a threesome. We're back to 6 of them close together once as they go into the horseshoe, and it's 27 this time. John Morris now who leads. Where did he come from in this battle?
22 in second place, Carl Sterling, and then 94, the man who won the heat earlier. That's the boy, I should say, Derek Martin.
Yes, he's certainly not giving up without a fight, because Derek was back in the second for a moment. He's back in third again. Dunn, I think, is now second. Yes, indeed it is. It's Norris from Dunn, then Martin, then Stephen Little. They're way up on the curbs this time with the chicane. That's Kyle Price following Carl Sterling through as well.
Absolute classic cadet racing this. I've never seen better. And we're, of course, with Kyle Price, who's bringing our pictures right into the middle of this ferocious battle.
Well, I thought we'd lost a lot of our good cadet racing when so many of them moved into junior road tax and mini-max, but there's another generation obviously coming along, and that's Derek Martin we're following once more.
Now 27, Norris has made a little bit of a break here as the others tangle each other up. Dunn number 8 there in second place, number 12 just going through picture, that's Stephen Little. And then 94, Martin, who led for quite a while in this thing, and then we are now challenging him in our camera cart, number 43, Kyle Price, into the chicane, and have we got it? We didn't make it stick that time.
Well, Norris may well be leading, but I don't think it's over yet. This group, if they decide to get on with it, will close the gap once more on him, and in fact I think they've done so already.
So Norris in a very tender lead with Dunn right on his tail, and this whole group, just look at that, out Dunn made a mistake that time, he's going to pay for that, and in fact Martin really made up points there. He's up into second again.
It's Stephen Little who needs, I'm not sure if Dunn had a little bit of help to get out in the gravel that time, but he's fighting back. Stephen Little needs Dunn looking for second. Martin is holding that position. That's where Norris we're following this time in cart 27.
And the distinctive camera cart is the young gentleman with the yellow helmet just at the back of this group at the moment, perfectly positioned for for camera work, but possibly not the place he'd want to be.
Yes, that's young Carl Sterling, but how has this happened? Suddenly Derek Martin has got a handy little lead. He even has time to look back over his shoulder and say, where are you guys, as they climb the hill, and right behind him is Carl Dunn, then Stephen Little.
Of course, no gearbox in these carts. It's just flat to the board and flat on the brake as they come round the top hairpin this time. And definitely Martin has made a little break this time. Can he keep that up? Can he get away now as these others really begin to hold each other up? 12, Stephen Little up into second place, then Dunn.
And believe it or not, they're only little 60cc engines, but what entertainment they can provide in this wonderful cadet class. And we seem to have lost Carl Sterling from this group number 22. They're probably not having a good day, unfortunately.
Well, Dunn having a very good move there in paddock as he went up into second, but still Derek Martin leads in a dangerous lead now for the rest of them.
Yes, Derek Martin with a handy little lead from Carl Dunn. They're right up on those curves more. Stephen Little's there as well, then John Norris, then Cal Price, number 43.
And they're really now trying to chase him down. Not too much time left in this one. They've got to catch this man, Derek Martin, and they mustn't tangle themselves up too much. A little bit cleaner that time as they came through the top urban. Still, it's number 12, Stephen Little in second place. Dunn and a very heavy contact there between Dunn and Norris.
Yes, and that not helped their cause. They try to chase after Derek Martin. They really need to get on with it. Derek stretching his lead. In fact, Stephen Little's getting away from that group as well. Dunn still in third. Then Price and Norris. That's Dunn we're following.
Carl Price then on board with Carl Price. He's trying to go up as he comes into the chicane. He's right over the chicane. There ain't room left and he's on the wrong side now. He's going to have to queue up behind him.
Up the hill once more towards gate and compression. Now we're following John Norris and cart 27. Martin is way down the road now. We're right at the closing stages of this cadet final.
And it looks like the first two have made a real breakaway. That's where the victory, I think, is going to come from. This is the battle for third place at the moment, and it's as close as ever.
It's the leaders in the horseshoe, and we're following the battle for third position, headed by Carl Dunn, still from Kyle Price and John Norris. Price on the outside of Dunn for a moment or two, trying to wrest a third place away from him. And that's how close he is. We're right on that back bumper.
Must have been contact there, John.
Yes, I think there was indeed, but it does not seem to affect them. A little bit of
contact there.
Oh, very definitely, and a couple of old-fashioned looks between each other. And Dunn is now back up into third position. Norris is fourth. Kyle Price is fifth. Leaders are somewhere down the road.
Time to go into the hairpin, this battle that we are sticking with, absolutely impelling television here. And meanwhile, up front, look how close it is between Derek Martin and his big challenger now, Stephen Little.
And just a couple of corners left in this one. Martin trying to fend off the Cookstown driver, Stephen Little. On this, the very last lap of this cadet final in that corner. And now the dash to the line. Will Martin hang on? He has time to have a look at Little, but he punches the air in the light and takes a very good cadet victory.
Started on pole and got a sort of a bit of a lead, and then the rest got back at me, and then I was dropped, I think, down to fifth, and then made my way back up in the last lap.